Welcome to Bloom at the Yoga Garden, and thank you so much for joining me for this class today. So whenever you're doing it, just allow it to happen. So we're thinking about allowing things to happen, whether it's in our lives or in our bodies. So we have to learn that we don't have complete control over everything that happens in our lives. We do have a lot of choice, but there are certain things that we need to allow to happen, and I want you to particularly think about that in your yoga practice and in your physical body. So get yourself nice and comfortable, lie down on your mat, take the heel of the right foot to the right edge of the mat, the heel of the left foot to the left edge of the mat. Feel as if you're stretching the crown of the head up towards the end of the mat, so you have a nice long back of the neck. Excuse me. Draw your shoulders in towards each other, in behind your heart. Backs of your hands are on the floor, arms rotated, palms facing up, ready to receive any wisdom, any goodness out there waiting for you. And maybe allow your eyes to close softly together. And just bring your awareness to any contact points of your body with the mat. The back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, backs of the arms, the backs of the hands, the buttocks, the backs of the legs, the heels. And just be aware of any little areas of tightness that you might feel. Notice, do you feel even? Does your body feel level? Maybe are you resting more on one hip than the other? More on one shoulder than the other? So just pay attention, take a minute and maybe make any little adjustments you might need to make. Because we want to be balanced, both in our lives and our yoga practice, and we want to allow our bodies to move in a way that is good for them. So just begin to follow your breath. Don't try to change it in any way. Just notice the in and the out, calm and slow. It's just your normal breath, and hopefully you'll notice that it has begun to slow down a tiny little bit, just because you're thinking about your breath, you're listening to my voice, and you've set aside this time for yourself on your yoga mat. Taking responsibility for your own physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So now see if you can make your breath a little bit louder, a little bit noisier. So it doesn't have to be any sort of special breath, but it's just so that you become more aware of it. So if you know the Ujjayi breath, of course you can do that, the ocean breath, but just think maybe about making your breath sound like the ocean, and that will make it noisier. But continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And just see if you can begin to slow your breath down even more and maybe extend the exhales a tiny little bit. feel as if you're sending the exhale the whole way down to the soles of your feet. And on the inhale again, feel as if you're inhaling from the soles of your feet, moving it up through your body. And just check that you haven't allowed any tension to creep into any areas of your body while you're doing this. We are inclined to allow tension to creep into our shoulders, or maybe if we're feeling it's a bit of an effort. So again, just do a wee quick body check and then come back to your nice noisy breath. So a couple more rounds of your noisy breath. And maybe you'll notice other sounds happening too. Certainly I'm aware of sounds in my tummy, making great rumbling sounds. Maybe you hear sounds around you as well. But really we're trying to focus just on our breath. So now just return to your natural breath. And we're almost ready to begin our practice. So as always, listen to your own body. Don't do anything that you know doesn't suit your body. You take a rest, you stop the video, you use a prop, you leave it out completely. You do what's right for you, and there should never be any pain. A little bit of discomfort is fine. In fact, a little bit of discomfort is probably quite a good thing, because it shows that you're using your body and maybe using muscles you don't normally need to. But today, don't feel totally restricted by what I'm saying. Adjust the postures to suit you, or maybe even add in little movements of your own to suit you. So allow your body to do its thing, because after all, I'm planning this lesson, I have planned this lesson, I'm doing the lesson, but probably deep down it suits me and it may not suit you. I do try to do things that don't always suit me, but remember that the way I move isn't necessarily the way your body needs or wants to move. Okay, so just take a big inhale, bring your arms up behind you. See if you can touch the floor, point your toes away, draw your shoulders down again. Another big inhale here, and then exhale, just allow your arms to float down whatever way they want to, and relax your toes. And then we're going to do a few foot flaps. So lie here, have your hands just palms facing down, and just begin to point your toes away. So away from your face and towards your face. So start off quite slowly, and then speed it up until when you do it really quickly, your whole body will move and you feel as if you're going to roll or rub a hole in the back of your head and your hair, and you'll begin to feel this in your lower legs. So keep going, keep working. Try and make your toes come right up each time. And breathe and smile and think, isn't this silly? And you'll feel your buttocks getting a wee massage. Maybe your shoulders are getting a wee massage. And just let everything go. 2 more. And then relax. And then bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a wee squeeze. So we're not squeezing it too much. Maybe we rock from side to side. Maybe take your knees away, and then maybe do a few circles with your ankles, because you maybe were feeling that down in your shins, maybe in your calves. But it's surprising how such a little motion, such a little movement can feel so strong. So plant your feet in the floor And we'll straighten our legs out along the floor. And we're going to bring our left hand onto your tummy, and we're going to do circles with the right hand. So you'll see if you can imagine you're following your thumb, and it'll be difficult to follow your thumb when you're lying down. So we're going to sweep the left hand right across our body, right up, around behind our head, right out along the floor. And hopefully you've got room and you're not like me and you're hitting a statue, and back down across the front of the body. So we're going to do 2 more of those to this side. So follow your thumb if you can, as long as you have no neck issues. Don't. So of course, if you have any shoulder issues as well, you'll find your rotation is a bit more limited. So now I'm going to change direction and come back the other way, and you'll notice this is completely different. This side, as I do. Oops. And 3 circles round this way. So just getting a little bit of warming up into the shoulders. So only go as far as feels okay for you. So then we'll swap sides. So again, look at your left thumb, sweep the whole way across and up and round. So just imagine you're drawing a big circle around your body, around your head, a little halo for you. And it doesn't matter what way you breathe when you're doing this, as long as you breathe. So when you've done 3 that way, change direction. Bring it back across. And certainly I can feel it there when I change direction like that. Ooh. So only go as far as feels right. And when you've done 3 that side, then bring yourself back to center. So from here, we're going to continue working in the shoulders. And again, this next bit, proceed with caution is what I would say. So roll over onto your tummy. And bring your arms out at shoulder level. So you can bring your right cheek down onto the floor. And then you're going to begin to roll over onto your right side. So you'll maybe get to here and you're feeling that in this right shoulder and you think, I don't think I'll go any further. So certainly if you're feeling this very strongly here, you won't go any further. But if you're not feeling an awful lot, maybe you'll begin to bring the left foot up and plant it in the floor. So you can bring your left hand over to help you to get a little bit more. So this is just about opening this right shoulder. So left hand is on the mat to maybe encourage this little bit of a twist. See how that feels. And then you think, oh, this is okay. Maybe you'll take a bind, see if you can find your foot. I had difficulty finding mine there. And then you're sort of opening up all of the front of the body, as well as giving that right shoulder a nice opening stretch. One more breath here. Gently release your left foot if you've got hold of it, and nice and slowly bring yourself back to center. And then we'll do the other side. So left arm out, and I say this is my sore arm, so I'm going to be very careful here. Bring your right hand down, roll onto your left cheek, or your left cheek. And then see how that feels. Maybe you'll take your right foot back onto the floor. Maybe you'll reach back and take hold of your right leg, your right foot, and again another little bit of opening up here. But you go as far as feels right for you. You know how your shoulders are feeling, and I know quite a few people have funny shoulders or shoulder injuries. One more breath. If you're holding your foot, release it. And nice and gently and slowly bring yourself back to center. Gently bring the left arm in and just make a wee pillow briefly for your forehead. Maybe give your shoulders a little bit of rotation, a little shrug. And then bring your hands back, tuck your toes under, and bring yourself up into high kneeling. Excuse me. And then we're going to take a big inhale, bring your shoulders up, and exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. One more. Inhale up, and exhale down. And then we're going to swing our arms up, clasp your hands, come into a steeple grip with your index finger, pointing up. Shoulders rolling back and down. Reach up, big inhale. And exhale, begin to hinge over to the right. Just the tiniest wee bit of a hinge to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale down to the left. We'll do one more to each side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. So of course, pad your knees up any way you feel you need to. Double up your mat. Use a blanket, anything at all. My mat's quite thick, so I feel okay doing this. So from here, we're going to bring our arms straight out in front and we're going to do eagle arms. So we're going to bend both elbows and then we're going to bring the right elbow into the crease of the left arm and either bring the backs of your hands together, or if you know this is going to be too much for you, you just give yourself a hug. But if you can, either backs of the hands or palms of the hands together, and then take a big inhale and maybe lift your elbows up. So even if you're here, lift your elbows up. Maybe the tiniest wee whisper of a back bend as you inhale and get length. And then as you exhale, fold forward and down. Just to wherever feels right for you. Take a breath here. And then nice and gently inhale. Bring yourself back up and release your arms. Maybe give them another little shrug. And then same thing on the other side. Arms out straight, bend at the elbows. Heel of the left elbow into the crease of the right arm. And same thing, backs of the hands, palms of the hands, whatever feels right for you. Inhale, lift your elbows up. Tiny, tiny wee bit of a back bend. Inhale up and exhale. Begin to fold forward and down. So just go as far as feels right for you. Take a breath here. And then nice and slowly bring yourself up and release your hands and so from here we're going to turn and bring ourselves into tabletop. So knees are below your hips, wrists are below your shoulders, and you're actively pressing the floor, right? Pressing into the base of the index finger and thumb and really actively pressing the floor away. So we'll just do a couple of cat-cows and then we're going to do a little bit of upper body strength. So take a big inhale and drop your belly. So again, allow the movement to happen in your body as it moves along your spine. And then as you exhale, again, tuck your tail. Feel the movement the whole way along the body. Inhale. And I think this must be one of the loveliest movements to do because you're stretching. Don't have a wee rail about. Don't just stick to what I'm saying.
Move whatever way you feel you need to. Allow it to happen in your body. One more.
So maybe not quite the conventional cat-cow today, but
moving in a way that suits you and it makes you feel good. That's the important thing. And then from here, we're going to come into a sort of a half plank. So we'll walk our knees back a little bit and just bring your weight forward so that your shoulders are over your wrists. So you're in like a half plank, so you're not sinking down like this. You're lifting the whole of the front body up into the back body, and you can either keep the feet on the floor, or you can have your lower legs up, maybe cross them at the ankles if it feels okay for you. So just do whatever feels right for you. You can even experiment, start off with one. So make sure your elbows your shoulders are over your wrists. And then we're just going to lower down a little bit. So you only go as far as feels right for you. And the more you engage your core and lift up through your front body, the easier it'll be. So you might get to here, and that might be you. Fine, no problem. We have to start somewhere. Maybe you'll go a little bit lower, and then bring yourself up. And I can hear cracks and all sorts of things happening here. So one more. And then we'll just sit back and have a wee rest, stretch your arms out, and then we'll do a couple more. So have your knees as wide as you feel you need to. And just give your arms a wee rest in whatever way they feel they need to. And then we'll come forward again. And again, if I'm here like this, not only am I putting an awful lot of pressure on my wrists and my arms, but I'm also kind of almost nipping my back. So I need to lift up through the front body. I don't know whether you can see any difference there or not, but I can feel a huge difference. So navel lightly engaged back towards your spine, big inhale, and exhale lower, and inhale up. Two more. So just to wherever feels right for you. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And then sit yourself back onto your heels, knees as wide as you need to. Bring your arms back either side of your body. And just have a wee roll about, massaging your shoulders. And then bring yourself back up again. Going to come forward, tuck your toes, plant your hands, tuck your toes under, and bring yourself up into down dog with knees bent really, really deeply. So we're not even thinking about straightening our legs here. But what we are thinking about is trying to not let the weight come forward, trying to get our hips, not our hips, trying to get our ribs, not even the right place, almost onto your thighs, shoulders away from your ears, pressing into the base of the index finger and thumb, and really stick your bottom up into the air. Get it up as high as you can and let your head go. Inhale and open your mouth wide and just go, let it all out. One more. Inhale and let it all out. And I say move in whatever way you feel you need to. Just allow it all to happen. And then from here, keep your knees bent as much as you need to. We're just going to take a wee walk towards the front of the mat, nice and slowly, whatever way feels right, and bring yourself into asana. And then we're going to take our arms back behind, clasp your hands at your bottom to begin with, and if you can, maybe you'll begin to take your arms up overhead. crown of the head coming down towards the floor. Big inhale. And exhale, maybe sink a little bit further. So if you're here, that's fine, or here. Or even don't clasp your hands at all if it doesn't suit you. And then press strongly into all four corners of your feet and bring yourself up into a version of Utkatasana. So when you look down, you should be able to see all 10 toes. Lift your pubic bone up. Sacrum going down towards the floor, shoulders rolling back and down. One more big inhale here. And then release your hands and press into the floor. And bring yourself up. Bring your hands down to your heart center. And just take a nice couple of breaths. Inhale. And exhale. One more big inhale. Swing your arms up. And as you exhale, roll forward and down. Make contact with the floor, step back with the right foot, step back with the left foot, and meet me in downward facing dog. So walk your dog this time. And begin to straighten one leg at a time. So pressing the floor away. And when you're ready, come into your static dog. Rotate the big arm bones out. Navel back towards your spine, lift your kneecaps. Your upper thighs are sort of rolling in towards each other, if that makes sense. They're not actually moving, of course. And shoulders away from each other and away from your ears. And again, shake your head, let everything go. Allow it to happen. Whatever wants to happen, allow it to happen. And now step your feet a bit closer together and take your weight onto the right foot and leg. Lift your right leg up, look forward, roll forward and step your right foot through between your hands. Stay on the ball of your back foot, or if you want to, you can bring the left knee down to the floor, your choice. So if you're keeping the left knee raised, keep pressing into the heel of the left foot. Get your balance wherever you are. Maybe bring your hands onto your knees first of all. Bring yourself up, swing your arms back, clasp your hands and draw your knuckles down towards your heels. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sink a little bit lower. So right knee and ankle in line. Try and keep them heading middle, the knee heading towards the middle of the right foot. Inhale and exhale. And then release your hands, bring yourself forward, plant the left hand on the floor and begin to circle that right arm again. So you're going to know your shoulders after today. But again, just go as far as feels right for you. And then maybe change direction. So close your eyes and see if you can feel that rotation up in the shoulder joint. Excuse me. And then from here, we're going to swing our arm up again, take it round and bring it round in to the back waist. Lift your right shoulder up and you're almost coming into the tiniest little bit of a back bend. Keep pressing strongly. You can do it from here, but otherwise press strongly into the heel of the back foot. One more big inhale here. And then release your right hand and bring your left knee down to the floor if you have it raised. And then from here, we're going to come off the kneecap of the left leg, if that makes sense. So
you don't want to be on your kneecap, or roll up your yoga mat to give you extra support, or what's really nice is to put a blanket under your knee. But you don't want to be trying to do this on your kneecap. So again, if you have a brick, it'll help. So we don't want to be really lying heavily on the floor. So you want to be in light contact with the floor with your hands. Bring your left heel in towards your bottom, and maybe you'll be able to reach around with your right hand and come into your back bend. So see if you can be light with this hand. Maybe bring it onto a brick if you need to, or a book. Big inhale. Rotate the right shoulder. One more breath here. And then gently release the left foot. Bring your right hand back down again. Frame the front foot. Tuck the toes of the back foot under. And bring yourself back into downward facing dog. Give it a wee quick walk. And then we'll do the other side. So take your weight onto the right foot and leg. Reach up with the left foot and leg. Look forward. Step it through. So either right knee to the floor or keep it raised. So you can do it perfectly well with your right knee in the floor. Plant the right hand. Feel secure. So you have a good firm grounding with the floor at this stage. Left knee and ankle in line. And then going to rotate with the left arm. So of course, allow your whole body to move here. So it's not just your arms moving. We are, that's Irish, isn't it? We are moving our arm. We're rotating into that left shoulder joint. Change direction. But we're also feeling the movement in the ribs. We're keeping that left knee nice and still, I hope. That's it, lovely, well done. This is strong, you know, so don't feel bad if you're feeling it hard. And then from here, we're going to press even more strongly into your right hand, bring your left arm up and come into your twist with a bit of a back bend, if that makes sense. Left arm to the right waist if possible, or your left hand. One more breath here. Excuse me. Smile. Allow it to happen. If this doesn't feel right for you, you stop. One more breath. Release the left hand. Bring your right hand down. Plant the right knee. And again, we're going to see if we can kind of come off the fingertips a wee bit here. Come off, so we're supporting ourselves more or less on our left foot and our right knee. So come off the right knee, get your blanket, your padding, whatever you had for the other side, and then bring it in towards your buttock. Reach back with the left hand, and maybe you'll be able to come off this hand, maybe not. If you feel as if you're going to fall, of course, keep your hand there. Well, we're keeping our hand there anyway, so it's going to be there to catch you. Lift up and begin to rotate the left shoulder, and maybe look over your left shoulder if you can. One more breath here. Think how good it is. Allow any sensations arising just to happen. One more breath. And gently release the right foot. Frame the front foot with your hands. Tuck the toes, the back foot under. And bring yourself back into downward facing dog. And just let your dog move. So this is going to be a wee breather before we go on with the next little bit. So take your breather in child's pose if you wish. Big toes to touch, knees out like this.
or your arms, making a little pillow for your forehead. So you do it, you have your rest wherever you feel you need to, but this can be quite an energizing way to have a rest. Well, for some of us. So shoulders away from your ears, pressing the floor away. Big inhale and exhale. If you're in child's pose now, maybe make your way back into down dog. One more breath here. And then we're back to the right side again. So move your left foot in a little bit, right foot up, look forward, step through with the right foot. And this time we're going to plant the heel of the left foot. So don't plant it just where it was, directly behind the right foot. Step it out a little bit so you have a nice broad base, so that you should feel really secure. So just check how you feel before you go any further. Press strongly into both feet. Bring yourself up briefly into a traditional Virabhadrasana 1. Swing your arms back behind you, clasp your hands and draw your knuckles down towards your heels. So lunging into the front leg, again, knee heading towards the middle of the foot, ankle and knee in line. Big inhale here, shoulders rolling back and down. And then one more breath here. We're going to come into humble warrior. So come down, we're going to aim to come down the inside of the right leg and allow our arms to drift up. So if you need to, of course, rest on the right thigh, but maybe you'll be able to come down the inside and allow your arms to just drift up to wherever they go. Doesn't matter if you're here or here, wherever they go, we're all different. And our makeup is different. The shape of us is different. Thank goodness we're all different. Crown of your head to the floor. Let everything go. Allow it to happen. Allow the sensations to come into your body. Notice where you're feeling it. One more breath here. And then drop your hands down onto your belly, onto your bottom. And plant both hands either side of that front foot. And then walk your hands forward. I would say good foot in front of the right foot. Pivot on the toes of the back foot. Lean into the right leg and allow your left leg to drift off the floor. So we're trying to get two nice level hips here. So keep your hands on the floor and just look slightly forward. So you're not crunching your head in or looking desperately forward. Just allow your head to be in a nice easy position. So a version of Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. And remember, warrior poses are strong, so don't worry, keep a wee bend in this leg if you need to. And maybe you'll be able to bring your hands together at your heart center and allow your heart center to come through, shoulders away from your ears. Hope my hips are level. Maybe you'll take your arms back. Maybe you'll take them forward. You be wherever you are. If you're here, you're fine. Oops. One more breath here. And then we're going to bend the front leg and step back carefully and bring yourself up into Virabhadrasana 1, traditional Virabhadrasana 1. Reaching up and sitting down. Inhale up, exhale, sit a little bit lower. Pressing into the baby toe side of the back foot and into the heel. Shoulders away from your ears. Maybe you'll begin to take your arms back. Maybe not. Inhale, reach up. There should be no pinching or nipping in the lower back.
there is, you need to come forward and lift up before you think of going back again. One more big inhale here. And then roll forward and down. Frame the front foot with your hands. Pivot in the toes of the back foot and step back into downward facing dog. And walk your dog nice and briefly. And then we'll do the other side. So of course, if you want to, you take a wee breather here before we do the other side. So take the weight onto your right foot, look forward. Step through with the left foot, plant the heel of the left foot. And again, make sure you have a nice wide stance. Get your balance. Press into both feet. Bring yourself up. Reach up into the fingertips. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. Inhale up. Exhale, sit a little bit lower and then swing your arms around. Clasp your hands. Draw your knuckles down towards your heels. Maybe heel toe that foot a wee bit further forward if you need to. Check the front knee is heading towards the baby toe side or the middle of the front foot. Shoulders rolling away. Heart center lifted. Doesn't it feel good to be doing this? Allow it to happen. Allow any sensations in your body to come. Big inhale and exhale. Begin to fold over the inside of your left thigh and allow your arms to drift up. I should have said take a different clasp this time. Not to worry. Crown of your head to the floor. Allow your arms to drift up just to wherever they go. And breathe. So if you're here, that's fine. We're going to come there in a minute anyway. One more breath here. Drop your hands onto your bottom. Frame the front foot with your hands. Pivot in the toes of the back foot. Walk your hands about a foot or so in front of that left foot and leg. Lean into your left foot and allow the right leg to drift off the floor. So this is where if you have bricks, actually, it works really well. Does make life a lot easier. We can do it perfectly well from the floor, but it just gives you a wee bit more. It allows you, I think, maybe to focus more on so you'll have the bricks wherever you think you need them. But it's always a good idea to come quite high because theoretically we're aiming to get our hands off anything and be relying on our balance. So hands to your heart center. If you come out of it, don't worry, just come back in again. Hands to your heart center. Maybe take them back. Maybe keep them on the floor, keep them on your bricks, it doesn't matter. Oops, I nearly went there. And then from here, bend your front leg and step back carefully and bring yourself up into Virabhadrasana 1. Maybe adjust your feet if you need to, reaching up into your fingertips, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale up and exhale down. Lower, inhale and exhale. And then big inhale, maybe begin to take your arms back, take your hands back. Tiny wee back bend. Reaching up, feel good. Allow any of those sensations that are coming into your body to happen. Don't throw them away. One more breath here. Move if you need to. And then fold forward and down over the front foot. Pivot in the toes of the back foot. And this time we're going to step through and meet me in Uttanasana.
Let your head go. Hold on to your elbows, maybe the backs of your legs. Crown of the head coming down towards the floor. Just whatever feels good for you. So well done. Tell yourself, well done. That was a nice little strongish sequence. And then from here, make contact with the floor. Bend the left knee, bend the right knee, and swing your legs to one side. Lift the flesh off your sit bones and bring yourself into asana, staff pose. So we're sitting up really tall and straight. So your body is like an L shape and you're working so strongly into your legs that your heels begin to lift off the floor. So this could be me just sitting here. Here's me switching on my legs and I don't know whether you can see my heels just lift the tiniest wee bit because these muscles are all so switched on. So sit, and it's really strong pose when you do it like this. Hands onto your thighs and you'll feel those muscles strong. And then we're going to bring the right leg in. So I turn around again. Bring your right leg in towards your chest. Squeeze, give it a nice hug. And then hold on to it with your left arm. And then take, take your right arm in behind, just so that you probably have sort of slouched back, but actually you'll know because of this foot, this right foot isn't pressing into the ground, you'll know you've sort of laid back anyway. Take a big inhale and exhale. And then maybe just begin to draw happy faces with your chin. Maybe you look up and look down, up. Just whatever feels right for you. Bring yourself back to center. Big inhale, and then turn, feel as if you're lifting your tummy towards the right. And then your lower ribs, upper ribs, chest. Rotate your right shoulder. Keep your chin in line with your breastbone as long as you can. And then when you've gone as far as you can, turn your head and look over your right shoulder. Keep working into the heel of the left foot and leg. One more big inhale here. And then gently unwind. Bring yourself back to center and straighten the right leg along the floor. So get your Dandasana pose again. And then bring your left leg in. And then give it a hug with your right arm. Press into the sole of the left foot. Left hand in close behind you. Lift up. And then happy faces or circles with your nose. Just whatever you do, know that you're doing it for you. You're allowing it to happen. And you probably feel all sorts of creaks and cracks. So then back to center. Press into your sit bones, press into the right heel. Big inhale. Belly, mid-chest, upper chest. Chin stays in line with your breastbone until you've gone as far as you can with your body. And then turn your head and look over your left shoulder. And smile and breathe. And allow any sensations that arise to come into your body. One more big inhale. And nice and slowly and gently, as you exhale, bring yourself back to center. Straighten that leg out along the floor.
And then from here, we're just going to roll down onto the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest. We squeeze in, we rock from side to side. And then either plant your feet in the floor, the foot width of your mat, with the knees knocking in towards each other, or straighten your legs out along the mat. Get yourself comfortable anyway for your relaxation. Put on any extra layers you might need, because you will begin to cool down once you stop moving. So just like we did at the beginning, imagine you're taking the crown of your head up towards the top of your mat. Shoulders rolling in towards each other and away from your ears, in behind. Feel you're tucking them in behind your heart. And that'll allow your arms to rotate so the backs of the hands can be in the floor. And heel of the right foot at the right edge of the mat. Heel of the left foot at the left edge of the mat. And that applies whether your knees are bent or not. Take a nice long, slow, deep inhale. And a nice, soft, whispery exhale. And again, feel that you can follow that nice long exhale as it leaves your body. So we really want to extend the exhales if we can. So inhale. Feel as if you can't take in any more, and then take in another little bit. And then exhale. Sigh it out. Long, slow, meandering. Feel, allow it to happen in your whole body. One more of those. Inhale, and again, feel the inhale. Allow it to happen. Breathe, pause, and then whisper it out through your nostrils. Follow it. Allow it to meander as it leaves your body. Feel the work. Feel how your breath can help your body to relax. So now bring your awareness back to the contact points of your body with the mat. The heels or the soles of the feet, the calves, the thighs, the buttocks, all of the back body, the back shoulders, the backs of the arms, the backs of the hands, the back of the head. And just notice, does one side feel maybe heavier than the other? Do you feel balanced? Is your right arm maybe lying more into the mat than the left arm? Or the left leg more than the right leg? Don't worry about it at the minute, but just notice it and be aware of it if you notice it happening. Just feel as if you can allow every single part of you to soften down into the mat. With each inhale and exhale, it's as if every part of your body is beginning to melt. You're melting down into the mat, knowing that this is a safe place to be, that you can allow it to happen, that you can choose to let it happen. Allow your body to soften. Allow the toes and the feet to soften. The calves, the shins, the thighs to soften. Allow the buttocks to soften. All of the back body and the ribs. It's as if the ribs are no longer rigid and they can soften down into the mat. And the internal organs relaxing, softening. The arms, the arm bones, the backs of the hands, the finger bones, all becoming so soft and heavy. They're melting down into the mat. The sides of the neck, the back of the head. The expression on your face is one of peace, calm, maybe a little smile hovering on your lips. The back of your head, all those bones in your skull have become soft. And they're just softening, releasing, sinking down, melting down into the mat. So the whole of your body melting, softening, relaxing into the mat, knowing that this is a safe place, that your mat is there to support you, the floor beneath, and of course the earth beneath that. You are connected. We are connected. We are connected to the earth. Feel that sense of softness, that sense of support, that sense of energy as you allow yourself to be enfolded by the earth, allowing yourself to be connected to the earth, allowing yourself to feel connected to everyone else, every living creature, every living person, every living thing in the universe. We are connected. We need to allow that connection to happen. So often we distance ourselves from others and don't allow that connection to happen, even sometimes when it feels like the right thing to do. We don't allow it to happen. We don't allow things to happen in our lives. We try to control our lives too much. And sometimes when we can just let it go, allow it to happen, wondrous things will unfold. So I'm just going to share a little poem with you by Dana Folds, and it's called Allow. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in, the wild with the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and success. When loss rips off the doors of your heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth, in the choice to let go of your known way of being. The whole world is revealed to your new eyes. So your relaxation is almost complete. Gently Bring yourself back, remember where you are, the time and place of day. Begin to breathe more deeply. And gently wake your body up. Wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. Have a stretch. And when you're ready, bring your hands together at your heart center, rub them nice and briskly. And when they're nice and warm, cup your hands and place them over your closed eyes. And then gently blink your eyes open into the warmth of your hands. And then spread your fingers and allow the light in gently. And then bring your right knee into your chest, your left knee into your chest. Begin to rock gently from side to side. And then take the rock right over onto the right side of your body. Bring your hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Take a big inhale and exhale, bow your head down towards your heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I really appreciate the fact that you've set aside this time to join me, and I hope to see you again soon. May all beings be free from fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we all be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all rest gently in the softness of our hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.